Welcome, wonderful bookish family, back to Coffee Over Apples. My name's Steph, and if you're new here, welcome for the first time. This is a speed drawing review that I do for books that I enjoy or for 3 stars and up on book blog tours. This is a bookmark drawing speed review for You Will Remember Me by Mary McKinnon. I was kindly sent this as an ARC from Harper Collins Publishing in exchange for an honest review, and here we go. Alright, so I'm going to start this off by saying that this is surprisingly one of the best thrillers that I've read this year. And that's kind of saying a lot. I mean, I haven't read too many thrillers this year, but of what I have read, this was surprisingly much better than I thought it was going to be. Because for most of the book, it was sitting at a 3-star until the very end, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm drawing for this bookmark design a beach, and there is some driftwood here and some seaweed, laver, and some seashells, because water, as you might know from the cover, has a lot to do with this. We start off the story by some really great descriptive language of one of our main characters floundering in the water. We're following 3 different points of views. We're following the first one, which is Jack, who is our main character from the very first chapter, wakes up floundering in the ocean, and he has a bump to his head that's bleeding, and he seems to have amnesia. He can't remember what his name is, what's happening, but as he starts to progress throughout the story, he begins to remember things. The second point of view that we have is a character named Lily. Lily is Jack's girlfriend, and they're living in Maine. And the third character is Maya, who is Jack's stepsister. But it is a very complicated relationship because everyone is not exactly who they seem. This book was so enjoyable. It started off as kind of like a mystery, what seems like a murder mystery, but not really, because Jack, when he wakes up, like I said, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know his name, and he ends up accidentally hitching a ride while just trying to scrounge for like clothes and food and whatnot, breaking into a trailer that he can just get supplies from. That trailer ends up accidentally taking him up to Maine. So he is gone. He's no longer on the beach where he woke up. And so his girlfriend Lily, who was expecting him to come over, can't find him. Finds his car at the beach, is assuming that something happened while he went out swimming. And so it's turned into this mystery of her trying to find Jack. Jack ending up reuniting with his stepsister from a long time ago. But apparently he went missing 2 years before that. And so there's a entirely other level of mystery to this, as Jack's trying to regain his memories as to why he's gone missing before intentionally and what happened there. What did he do that made him disappear the first time? Also, Lily is not exactly who she seems, and Maya is not exactly who she seems. We have a very tight-knit cast of characters in this story, and although it was very small town vibes, there's a lot to unpack here. So this is definitely a spoiler-free review. I highly suggest that if you guys are looking for a very fast-paced thriller, to pick this up. This was really good. Like I said, for most of the book, it was sitting at like a 3 to 3.5 stars. And that's what I was expecting it to be until literally the last 3 pages of the last chapter plus the epilogue, and then it just went down from there, and it was great. It jumped from a 3-star to a 4-star in 3 pages. So my hat is off to Hannah McKinnon for such a great plot twist that I did not see coming. There are tidbits along the way, and you start to gather material and start to think you understand who is guilty of what or where the story is going to go, but chances are that you're wrong, because like I said, Hannah McKinnon did a great plot twist that was super unexpected and super impressive. I need to read more thrillers. Thrillers is something that I'm definitely not well read in, so I highly suggest that if you're looking for a good thriller, and maybe you're new to thrillers and adult thriller mysteries, psychological thrillers, this is one to pick up. This was published on May 25th of 2021, so it is a new release. There is a second reason why I am drawing the beach in this video, and that's just because although our main character Jack did wake up on a beach, Maya, his stepsister, is also a artist. She actually picks up driftwood from the beach and makes sculptures and sells them out of that. And if you guys know me, you know that I am a sucker for any story that has artists in it. So that is always cool. Now, there is a trope that's used in this book, and it is the focal point of one of the major plot twists. I would say somewhere around like 25% in. Unfortunately, I can't say what that trope is because it's going to give away a major plot twist that happens around 25% throughout the story. And I do want to say that if you start reading this book and you get to that 25% mark and you see this trope that I'm referencing and you go, oh no, I don't like this trope, it's just not my jam. It wasn't my jam either, and honestly, that's what kept it out of 3 stars for most of the book for me, because this relationship trope that I don't want to spoil for you is just not one that I'm very interested in, but the way that it was executed in the end of the book was what I did not see coming. So I highly suggest that if you know what I'm talking about, I will talk about it more in my Goodreads and story graph review with like a link to being aware of potential spoilers. But if certain kinds of relationships are just not your jam, be aware that there is a reason for it, and I still highly suggest it. Another reason why, so this isn't a 5-star for me, but a reason that it sat at 3 stars for so long, and I was able to get past this and bring it up to a 4-star just because I understand, is the convenience. So that's the one thing that's stopping it from being a 5-star read for me, is the level of convenience in which our characters get more information and find out new material. Just being in the right place at the right time, or the right person who has the necessary information showing up very conveniently, is something that I just really couldn't overlook. I get that it was necessary to progress the story, but that's just too convenient for me after a certain point. But I totally get it, right? However, a strong point that I will note is that I was concerned for a while for our main female protagonist to be more of a damsel in distress, but she actually had a very strong head on her shoulders. And wait, do I have 2 of these markers? When did that happen? I mean, I'm not gonna complain because, you know, artists always need more supplies, but well, that is convenient. Anyway, made the best decisions with the information that she had and the resources that were available. So I'm actually really okay with the character and personality traits of our main characters. I thought that they were really well done. Now, if there is one thing that I could improve on this bookmark that I should have done, was that this bookmark is just way too light and happy looking for how dark this book is. And I love that, because you guys know, if you've been here, that I love dark things. I love dark stories. I love dark fantasy. And this psychological thriller went to a pretty dark place, which was fantastic. But this bookmark in the mood that I'm sitting here is totally misleading. So just keep that in mind. I'm taking this in a positive perspective. I should have put some blood in here or something. That's totally okay. The title of this book is very misleading because in this town, there are some dark secrets that this town may not even themselves be aware that they're harboring. And the title, You Will Remember Me, kind of makes you wonder, who is saying this? Is it the woman that's on the cover? Is it Jack, who wants everyone to help him remember who he is? Is he talking to himself? Is it Lily or is it Maya, who is trying to assist Jack in regaining his memories? What is happening here? I was on the edge of my seat for quite a while throughout most of this book, and the pace does not let up from the beginning. Thank you so much to Harper Collins Harlequin Publishing for sending me an arc of this through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. Like I said, this is the blog tour spot for this book, and I will leave the links in the description below for all of the places in which you can purchase this book and support the author, and the Goodreads link for you to check out for a further synopsis of the story. But again, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. What may seem like a run-of-the-mill psychological thriller actually turned out to be something well worth reading, and I do recommend. So, I post videos every week. Don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you want to see more content like this from me. And my links are in the description if you'd like to follow me on all my socials, along with the links for the 2 book clubs that I run. One, the Interstellar Book Club, which is the sci-fi book club, and also the Host Club, which is the monthly manga book club. As I slowly start to figure out what my taste is when it comes to thriller reads, Hannah McKinnon is a name that I will be keeping an eye out for in the future. I'll catch you next time. Bye.
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka worked the